Alright, we got a 2011 Scion XB alternator. We should be replacing that guy. Here's the new one. We'll get to the steps now. First and most important step is just to disconnect the battery. You can either disconnect the positive or negative. I'm going to do the positive since it's a little easier than on that side. Just let this guy chill. Right there. Next step we'll do before we pull this belt off is we'll just start disconnecting some of these electrical connectors. We got this guy right here. This guy can go. You can just pull this right here as well. We got a 10mm here. We can just get this guy off. I'm going to use a 10 with an extension. That'll be a lot helpful for me here. Pull this out the way. We got a positive nut here. So hopefully the camera can get it. Let's see. Next is a 19mm to pull this belt off. It's right there. Right there. That'll loosen our tensioner. We can pull this belt off. I was gonna get the breaker bar out, but it did not fit in between the actual chassis and the bolt on there we gotta pull off. So just got a 3/8 with a 19mm. We push down and then pull it out from the water pump, so that way it can just come right off. Now that we got our belt off, we can kind of push it down, move it out of the way, whatever. And let's check out what we got here. For starters, we can take this bolt off right here. Looks like it is a 14mm, so we'll do that now. Alright. So next, after we got this bolt out, there's actually a bolt right under the alternator. It is a 12mm. I think the camera can see it. It's right here. Oh, my finger is right there. It's 12mm right there. We'll get to removing that now. Alright, there we go. There we go. Okay, and if you see the clearance that you have in between here, and the clearance that you have in between here for the one that you have, it might be a little different. This guy might be impossible to put back on unless for whatever reason this gets grinded or pushed out. So from the factory, they pressed this nut in there. They pressed it in way too much, and then you're gonna never be able to get this guy actually in there and seated. So what I do most of the times is I use a brake pad compressor and get in between the grooves. We'll get in between it and then compress it, and it'll open it up a little bit and it'll push right out, but the same exact length as what you need. And for whatever reason we popped it out or anything, or if you popped it out too much, you can always mallet it back in, but it looks like it's almost flared on the outside of it, so probably won't come out on you. But yeah, just a tip, because I've put in probably 20 alternators that, you know, have this problem, so it's important that you don't return it and say, hey, it's the wrong one. More than likely this is your problem right here. Alright, now that's out of the way. We can get this guy back on there. Looking good. Fit right there. Let's get our bottom bolt. We'll start with that guy first. Line him up. now I'll line up this top bolt. Alright, once that's back on, don't forget to fully tighten that bottom bolt now. There we go. There we go. Alright, that belt was definitely a little tricky to get on. If you saw how I did it, I kind of went with the belt, and I grabbed it, went through the ratchet, and then as soon as I got it on, I was able to slip it right over. So I used a 3/8 drive with a 19 on it, shallow. So we'll double check the belt. We'll see how that is. Alright, just another reminder, make sure the belt is nice around everything. Go ahead and feel for it, make sure it's right around the water pump where you can almost see like where the grooves would line up for it. Make sure the idler pulley is nice. Make sure it's wrapped around the crank. Just kind of look at all your pulleys and make sure everything looks good. And then once we're done with that, we will put everything back on the alternator and we'll get a voltage reading on this battery and make sure everything's charged up like it should be.